Very good evening, wonderful friends. Though I have been in the political arena for the last couple of years into the political movement of Nagaland, I today feel that it is time that I open my mouth politically on the present political scenarios of Nagaland and the present multi-crore scam by Mr. Pillai, the OSD, to the Government of Nagaland Department of Police. Well, before I say something, I think the mass and you all should know why Mr. Matthew Peter, mostly or commonly known by my pet name Jolly, is so concerned about Nagaland and the Nagas of Nagaland. Well, I have a very soft corner for Nagaland and the Nagas of Nagaland. And you would come to know why I have such a soft corner and concern for the Nagas as the video goes on. My father, Mr. Peter Matthew, left his government job of a teacher way back in the late 1961 to go to Nagaland and start a school with the help of the villagers in the then remote place called Peg in 1962. And he was joined by his wife in 1964, who again left her government job to join her husband. And then in 1966, he and the villagers collectively decided to hand over the school to the government of Nagaland, and thus paving way for the present government higher secondary school, PEC. Well, I used to think when I came to Kerala after many years, because I was born in Peg in 1965. When I came to Kerala at young ages, I thought my father was mad or out of his mind to go to Nagaland, leaving his ancestral properties, because his family is a family of landlords, and leave the government job just 4 kilometers away from his house, and then drag his sweet lady all the way, asking her to leave her government job and go and serve the people of Nagaland. But later on, I came to realize that this particular man was so committed to uplift a group of people who were then mostly illiterate and uneducated, and his deep what do you say, his deep commitment to the society, wherein he strived, both of them strived all their life to ethically educate and bring up the people of Nagaland in the best way they could do it. Now, there were many people like my parents who lived all their lives to educate and bring up the Nagas with ethics, but not forgetting that there were few who were on the wrong side too. Let me give you some examples of the guts of my mom and dad, that the people respect them so much and that they have adapted me as their own blood with unending love of utmost heights. Uh, I I don't remember much of the incidents, but few of the incidents I do remember. Well, in 1982, the present chief minister, whom I call Apuza Sorozale, uh, pulled my mother to his school, or the or the school called TM Government High School, and put her as the headmistress of TM Government High School, transferring her from Visama John High School. In 19, I suppose it was in 1984, when Uncle K.L. Chishi was the education minister. He had a surprise visit to TM school, and my mother was on a rounds to the classes. Uncle Chishi went and sat in her room on her chair. My mother, though knew that K.L. Chishi was the education minister, never have seen him or didn't know him. So as she entered the room, she saw a handsome man sitting on her chair. She ordered him to get up from the chair and told him that that chair is for the headmistress of TM school and not for anyone else. And the chair counts and not the person sitting on the chair. But Uncle Chishi was an educated person and he immediately got up and moved off. The moment mom realized that it was the education minister, she said sorry and other things, but Uncle Chishi in fact appreciated her and called up the department to find out who she was. And knowing that she was Mr. Peter Matthews' wife, said, wow, she is something good. Another incident is when my mother was transferred to Twinsang in 1984 end, and she was the headmistress of Twinsang Government High School. And one person used to have a proxy teacher. She immediately called that person and said, from today you will not have salary. So he said, Sabo toike dikhai dibo. And my mom said, Oi, moi sabo le aru dikhai dibo le yete ahigina. The man, after a week, joined his duty and was one of the best teachers of Twinsang Government High School later on. My dad refused to admit the late Imtimeren's son, who had some problem in his school. My father refused to admit him in the government high school of Mokokchung when the late Imtimeren was the chief of the Congress of Mokokchung. And Imtimeren send the underground or something or some sort of that scenario. And my father said, go to the underground and ask them or tell them that it's Peter Matthew with the rules and regulations. And the management has said no to it. There are many examples of all these things that my father did. And there are a lot of people like my father and mother who were stringent on the rules and regulations that were genuinely or well followed by most of the leaders and officials of Nagaland, including my father. Examples in the education department were the directors of the education department like Uncle Kiramwati, Uncle Sekhoze, and all these people. They were pretty strict. The ministers like Apuza Saruzale, Uncle Chishi and all. Another example when I come to Mr. Pillai's case is in 1983, or I don't remember exactly, I think it's 83, when Uncle Keze Sema became the social welfare minister, who was too close with our family, and he asked my father to join as officer on special duty on deputation to the social welfare department in his tenure as the minister for social welfare and I think it was the museum charge and all. But my father said, no, I'm happy with the post that I hold. And that time he was the science special officer for the district of Kohima, which included Pek and other places. He was not interested in the money. He was not interested in the post of an officer on special duty. There were many people like that. Now, I am the son of that particular person who sacrificed, or that particular couple who sacrificed all their life and left Nagaland way back in 1996 and came back with just their pension and some amount of their PF. The rest, I'm sure they gave off almost everything to the Nagas there itself. The only thing they gave me and my sweet sister is wonderful education. And today, I'm proud to say that I enjoy the honest and dedicated goodness of my parents, that the Nagas have taken me as their own blood. And imagine a man from the tip of the country coming all the way to Nagaland to make at least a small impact on the political scenario of Nagaland. To be continued.